always try to bring something to the screen that you haven't seen for quite a while, and you know, we did that with Top Gun. There were no Aviator films and Flashdance, and a great car movie, great chase movie hasn't been around. So it's time to do one.
He goes this way, boom. And action, action, action!
That we could bring something fresh and different to the screen. Scott Rosenberg, who's a writer we worked with on Con Air, kind of jumped into the fray and said, yeah, I'd love to write that. That'd be a lot of fun.
The one line he gave me was, they have to steal 50 cars in one night. And I thought, that's the coolest idea in the world.
You know, our picture really goes into the character development. It's not one long car chase. We get you to vest yourself in the character, give you more humor, more drama.
Look, you know, I got everything under control.
The kitchen's on fire.
Basically, we realized that since the hero is essentially a criminal, pulled out of retirement, we had to really give him a reason to do it, and it couldn't be based on greed. And there had to be some threat. And not a threat to him, but a threat to someone he loves.
Kip?
Who's that?
Memphis.
Oh, shit.
You okay?
Jerry had offered me a number of projects in the past. This one came along out of the blue, and I really liked it. I just thought there were opportunities there for a lot of interesting characters.
When I gave him the first draft, and Jerry said, who'd you have in mind for these parts? And I said, well, Memphis is Nick Cage, and Kip is Giovanni Ribisi, and Sway's Angelina Jolie. Seriously, those three were like the ones I had in my head.
Scott had Nick in mind when he wrote the piece, and he was the first actor we went to and the last actor we went to, and we just chased Nick until he finally said yes.
But remember, the car is you. You are the car. That's right!
Memphis Reigns is a character that I could very easily buy into just by the nature of my own desire to drive and love of the automobile.
Action, Nick!
I think we found characters that when you put them all together, they're unique individually. There's no blandness there. You can always tell them apart. And then we have this big board, and we put all these Polaroids up on this big board and kind of mix and match the various characters and see how they all look together.
It's in keeping with the Con Air sensibility of character work within the ensemble group. I always like to be surrounded by great actors because it inspires me and stimulates my work.
Mercedes are dirty. Surveillance vans all over them. Where do these come from?
I knew that we had some action and some conflict and mayhem, but it wasn't just going to be an action picture. There was a chance to sort of tell an interesting story. We had the drama of these two brothers becoming brothers together. There was a romantic interest that had to be woven through it. And there was also the element of humor.
My name is Roger. Sir, may I be of some help?
That's funny. My name's Roger. Two Rogers don't make a right.
And there's an energy to Dominic's work that's amazing. It never lingers. Everything he does really moves very quickly, and I like that. I don't like to get bored while I'm sitting in the theater. You know, I don't want my butt to hurt. So we try to keep things moving along, and Dominic does it.
Jerry cares about making movies. He cares a lot. I care a lot. We both care a lot in each other's faces sometimes, but I think it's all worked out for the best.
It's totally on the edge, yeah, but Jerry likes that.
We always try to hook you with the characters in the story, and hopefully you'll want to sit through the whole movie, and we'll excite you, make you laugh, and you'll have a good time. That's what it's about.
It really pulls you out of the movie, you know, when you can't see the star of the movie driving the damn car. And I just knew that Nick was a car buff. I thought that was a plus because I suspected he could really drive a car.
Bang, bang, cowboys in India.
Nick really was into it. He's a big car enthusiast himself, and he's got the Lamborghinis, the Labos, and he's got the Ferraris. So he was really into it.
I just knew that Nick would be able to do it, and sure enough, and he got behind the wheel of that car and scared the shit out of everybody. That's him doing all these 180s and 360s and driving down the riverbed. I mean, he does most of his own stunts, so it just makes all the difference in the world to see him behind the wheel and see the buildings going by and see police cars swerving behind him, as opposed to the sort of green screen thing where somebody's rocking the car and the guy's sitting over the sandwich,
Nick wanted to do it. You'd have to drag him out with a crane to get him out of that car.
The cars are hand-pulled alone, without any cameras on them. Then you add, 200 to 300 pounds of camera weight, and then you add the visibility factor of the lighting, lights in the eyes, or the obstruction value of where they have these cameras mounted. Not only that, but to act and perform on camera. And I can't tell them enough how well he did in driving because of how difficult it is to deal with all those elements.
There was a lot of sweaty palms on the set when he would do a very dangerous stunt. But he was so good that I kind of relaxed a little bit. The studio wasn't happy, nor was the insurance company.
Great. Very good.
We sent Nick to Bob Bondurant's race car driving school in Phoenix. He went to Willow Springs. He went out to a school out in Camarillo called Bobby Orr's Stunt Driving School, which taught him the physical aspects of how to do the stunt type driving along with the race car driving. It's the homework that you do ahead of time, and it takes some of the danger out of play.
I really enjoyed the race car driving school, and that was a whole other thing, which I went on to pursue a little bit more on my own now as well.
We went to learn the parameters of driving, not just for sense of speed, but why you take a turn, why you hit the apex at a certain point. So all those elements really intrigued him.
I can drive pretty well, especially since I went to the school. I'm really feeling like I can connect with the automobile.
We also trained Angelina Jolie to drive.
I don't know what I was doing. I was playing. I was in some car that in first gear was like 45 miles an hour. Just insane. He had these cones and I kept playing, and he said, just use the engine. Go one with the car. You point, you shoot, you point, you shoot, you point, you shoot. And then suddenly on my own, I'm driving my car around the hills going, ooh, point, shoot, point, shoot. I'm like losing my mind. I'm sure I'm gonna get arrested.
What we try to teach is controlled uncontrollability. We want to slide, we want to spin, we want to look like it's right on the edge, and this is how a good stunt driver can make it look, and yet inside the car, they're hardly doing anything. So there's a lot more to it than just jumping in the car and grabbing an e-brake and turning around.
Ooh, you want to get crazy with me?
I took a couple of day-long sessions with him in which we did 180-degree turns, stopping on a dime and going through the slalom, and we did the whole kind of gamut. It's been interesting dealing with this piece of machinery and attempting to get it to do what you want it to do.
I don't mind being in a car when it's not crashing into movable objects.
Jesus! Keep your pants on.
Other than that, it's pretty good.
Being actors, they can focus on a scene, but to focus on the action, sometimes that's not a pivotal part for them. But for this film, it was, and they had to really concentrate.
Come on!
I liked cars in a sort of testosterone, go fast sense, but now it's kind of a testosterone, go faster thing.
What the hell's the matter with you? Come on!
Someone's stealing the car!
I did some cool stunt driving. I stole this Navigator, and I had to plow it over a lawn and do like a S-turn and skid out. So that's some fun.
We're driving down and the police come up, so the Sphinx ain't stopping for the police, and he smashes this police car all the way down the big spiral car park. It was a great scene. Use the brakes! We was doing all the special effects, and my foot was off the pedal, so I said, shall I give it a little bit, And the back of the police car smashed away to the side of the pedal and everything, which weren't really supposed to happen. But it was good. I mean, my adrenaline was going, and I jumped out, and, I had a crack with a stuntman in the other ring. I said, yeah, that'll teach you.
We lost a few BMWs at 60,000 a crack and stuff like that, but they all look pretty convincing behind the wheel. And you can actually feature the actors driving these vehicles along with the stunt people bringing their end of it to the table, which is, the dangerous stuff and the hairy stuff and the crashes. When you can marry those and they feel seamless, I think it's the best of both worlds. So I knew we had to have a big payoff, so it went from the naval yard and ended up on a bridge with an accident and him having to make a jump. So we just had to find the biggest, best bridge, in Southern California and beg people to let us shut it down for a few days. Unfortunately, they did, or we wouldn't have had a payoff. We'd still be looking for a bridge. The Vincent Thomas Bridge had never been shut down. It's one of two ways into Long Beach. And when you shut it down, the people who live there get very pissed off. And so it was a hairy situation.
There he is, there he is. Get out of the car, man!
The big jump was done in a variety of different cuts. We did a lead-up version of Nick kind of stalled there, thinking of what he's going to do, contemplating, then his approach to the ramp once he makes his decision to jump the accident scene. We cut from there to the actual loading truck and jumping a short distance off of that.
It only goes about 50 feet or so, and it lands into a wall of cardboard boxes that they built about 10 feet high and 100 feet long to just catch the vehicle.
Then we used a computer graphic design shot of the car for the long travel through the air, seeing the bridge, seeing the scope of the height of the bridge, all of that stuff.
Whenever it was traveling over people, those were all CGI created automobiles because it was too dangerous to actually shoot separate pieces of a real launch car.
Action. Taking the run to the ramp, and we've hit the ramp. We're airborne.
We wanted to tie a couple of shots of Nick into that sequence so that it wasn't just sheet metal, you know, flying through the air. And so what we did was we just took Nick in the vehicle, put a green screen behind him, and he just sort of acted it out as I talked him through it.
What, huh?
So we had Nick on the ground reacting as if he were airborne, and then plates were shot on the bridge of cameras moving past the girders, etc., to simulate what was behind him when he was airborne. And where the green screen canvas was, Secret Lab replaced that with a background plate in post-production. And so it appears that the background's moving behind him and he's actually airborne. The landing is real. That's actually a stunt driver taking off of an extended ramp and landing from a 25-foot height or so. They put incredibly strong shocks in there, and he actually does the landing. That's real.
Dominic Senna is a real artist. He's a visual artist. He's brilliant at what he does, and he's got a very, very exciting car chase.
On the whole, I'm pretty happy with the chase. I wanted to give the audience a ride. You know, I wanted them to be behind the wheel. I wanted them to sort of experience it as Nick was experiencing it, which I think works pretty well. I think it's fun, and I think it's a nice payoff. It was a lot of work, I know that.